Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for sticking with me through the rocky couple months I've been having. But I'm back. I got 5 brand new Dollar Tree high-end summer DIYs. You're gonna love them. Check them out. So our first DIY is I'm going to Mod Podge with this photo transfer Mod Podge right here. This picture that I printed out on a laser printer and some regular computer paper, I'm going to try and put it on this wood slice that I got from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love these wood slices. They're huge. They're round. You get a lot of bang for your buck. Sometimes they're smooth, sometimes they're not. This one right here, I'm going to freeze frame it so you can get the skew. This one had one rough side and one smooth side, so I wound up going with the smoother side instead of sanding it. See, that was a rough patch right there, so we're going to use this side. And I'm going to take this hanger off. There's 2 tiny little staples on each side of the hanger. It took me probably 3 minutes to get it off. So I read the back of the directions on this Mod Podge, and it said to apply a generous amount. So that's what I'm going to do with my little sponge brush here. And I'm going to apply a generous amount. I got this Mod Podge, I don't know what you would call it, scraper, squeegee type thing. And you have to let it sit for 24 hours. So that's what I did. I trimmed it. I let it sit for 24 hours. Here we are the next day. It says to take a sponge and some water and to gently peel off the paper, and your image is supposed to be transferred. So this was the hardest part of it all, obviously. And I think next time I'm not going to use the sponge. Number one, I had, this sponge with the rough green side on one side. But I found when I was using my finger, it was a lot better than the sponge. Just like rolling the paper off with my finger. Now, my image is there. But as you can see, it almost looks vintage. Because I went too hard in some places. And that's okay. I like the look. I really like how this came out. There it is. Finished. Done. Next time, I'm going to do it with my finger. So, I love this DIY right here. We're going to make a beehive and a honey dipper. You need this 9.5 foot rope. It's a skinnier rope from Dollar Tree. I broke this cloche, and I refused to throw it away. I said, I'm going to find something to repurpose this with. And this is going to be our beehive, believe it or not. And guys, the way this came out, phenomenal. And I got some ink, black chalk paint from Waverly. So I'm going to go ahead and I just cleaned that off with a baby wipe and dried it. I'm going to glue the base in, and I'm going to glue the crack. Because I'm going to wrap this rope and I'm going to glue it to the cloche all the way around. I'm going to spin it all the way around. But I didn't want the stress of the crack in the cloche. I didn't want that cloche to crack underneath my rope and then have everything cave in. So I glued the crack and I glued it down to the base very, very well. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to the cloche and I'm going to wrap it all the way around, twist it all the way up. Guys, when I say this turned out better than I expected, unbelievable. So I put a generous amount of glue at the top. I twisted it, I cut it, and I pushed it in really well. And I'm like, okay, it's starting to look like a beehive. All right, I see it. But it wasn't quite there for me yet. It needs like something else. Something else at the top. Something else, definitely. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up my mess. Lay some wax paper down. I always lay wax paper down, especially when I'm working with my paint, because it's just a easier cleanup. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lighter and I'm going to get all them extra frizzy hairs off. It's jute rope, so you're going to have them stragglers. And it also gives it some color, like the burnt look you can see here in some spots. I like that. I like it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I am going to paint the base of the cloche because it's shiny and it looks like plastic. I don't want it to look like plastic. I want it to have that matte look. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go around and I'm going to paint the whole bottom of this base. Now I'm going to go ahead and give my bees their little hole to get into their hive. And thinking back on this now, I shouldn't have made it look like a door. I should have did a circle instead of making it look like a door. But we live and we learn, and it still came out cute. So, but if I were to do this over again, I would definitely do a circle. You can make your door however you want it to look, or their hole to get into their hive, however you want it to look. This is your project, and I figured it's not huge. It's not a huge hive, but it's big enough. It's big enough to do the job. So now I got my little bees from the Dollar Tree, and I got some Snow White chalk paint from Waverly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over their wings, because the wings on the bees from the Dollar Tree, they're very almost transparent. They're almost see-through. They're very, very light. Like, you can see the black and the yellow underneath them. And I don't like that. So I'm going over the wings on the little bees. And I'm going to make them a solid white. I'm going to make them really, really pop and stand out. So I'm done with the wings. And I'm going to take the sticker off the back of the bees. And I'm going to glue them to this hive that we made. I mean, what's a beehive without bees, right? Come on, guys. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm taking the stickers off and I'm hot gluing my bees to the hive. And I'm just going to place a couple sporadically around the hive. Like, they're curling on the hive, like almost to get into that little door that I made in the hive. So now I'm done placing my bees, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this bee by our little hole in our hive off because I just wasn't feeling that door. So to add a little bit more texture and to make that pop out a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue some rope around it. And I'm going to give it more of, I don't want to say a circle look. It's almost looking like an oval. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue that bead back on the door, but I'm going to glue it down where the rope meets each other so you don't see that seam. And I thought this looked 10 times better than what it did. It gave it more, like maybe a 3D effect, 2D effect maybe. I just like the added layer. So it's still not looking like a hive to me. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to add something towards the top. So I'm going to add this little loop at the top of our hive. And to me, that just gave it what it needed. And it's not a big loop. It's not to hang it. It's not for anything like that. It's just for looks. I mean, I suppose you could hang it if you wanted to. Just make sure it's really secured to the top of the hive. I only added a little dot of glue. And I just placed it there because I'm only using it for looks. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this striped ribbon down from the Dollar Tree. They had it when they had all the bee stuff come in. And I'm cutting it down and I'm making it small and I'm making a little shoelace bow. That's it. And I'm going to dovetail the ends. And that's it. Like, I'm done with my hive. This was super, super simple. It's super cute to me. And I actually got a honey dipper with a jar of honey that I purchased from a local honey farmer here. And he gives these wooden honey dippers. And I thought this would be a perfect another small DIY to go with our hive. So I have this Maize yellow chalk paint by Waverly. I have my honey dipper. I have a brush. And I'm going to go ahead and add hot glue to the end of the honey dipper to kind of give it some full honey at the end. Now, when I tell you, this did not come out how I pictured it. I think I could have done a better job, but I could not get the color right. I end up mixing the Maize chalk paint with an apple barrel paint. I can't remember what paint it was, but I'm sure I show you. And you see me play with the color for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and apply our hot glue. And I'm going to do it all the way around the honey dipper. And I'm going to hold that dipper upright and kind of like twirl it back and forth in between my two hands. You'll see here in a second how I did it. Now I was just applying heat to get it to drip faster because it was like, it was so slow. And right here, I'm actually going to go ahead and paint all of that glue I just applied with the yellow chalk paint. And I'm not happy at all with how it turned out. I just want to let you guys know I had my second surgery this past Friday. I'm a week out of recovery. It's been a long, slow, painstaking recovery. They took my G-tube out, and I'm still in the same spot on the couch. Like, this is going to be a very long recovery. So while I'm home, that gives me a chance to work on some content and get it uploaded for you guys. Now, as you can see here, what is this? Okay, Terrirorial Beige. So I'm mixing the Maize with Terrirorial Beige from Apple Barrel. And I'm mixing and I'm mixing, and I finally get it to the color I like. And I have to tell you guys, I'm not happy with the outcome of the color. I think that I had some gold glue sticks, and I should have just used the gold glue sticks and not painted over the hot glue. Now that I'm thinking back on it, I should have just used the gold glue sticks. Now, mind you, this is all content I made before I went in for my second surgery because I wanted to upload something while I knew I was going to be recovering and I can't make any more new videos. So this is actually at my job right now, sitting in our entryways as soon as you walk in. And I get a lot of compliments on it, but we're our own worst critics. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm never happy. I always look at something and critique myself, like, I could have did this, I could have did that. And that's how DIYers and crafters and artists usually are. We're hard on ourselves, right? So this is the outcome. I think it looked super cute, but I could have done a lot of things differently. Let's just put it that way. If I were to go back and do it, I'd definitely change the door. I'd change the way I made the honey dipper. There's a couple different things I would have changed. But for having a couple items, like, let's face it, I made this for basically $1.25 and some bees and some paint. Now we're going to make mini snow cones because the 4th of July is coming up. This DIY is so simple. I mean, so simple. So I got the red and the blue straws from the Dollar Tree with the stars on them. And then they have the little plastic cups with the stars on them, the red and the blue. And I got these styrofoam balls. They're the 1.9-inch styrofoam balls. If you see right there. And 4 come in a pack. I got 2 packs. I didn't end up using both packs because I'm going to end up cutting them in half. And when you cut them in half, you get 8 snow cones, right? What do you need 16 for? That's way too much. So I made 4 for home and 4 for work, of course, because they love when I bring all my new creations in and display them in the front. So basically what you're going to do, you're going to take them balls, you're going to cut them in half. You are going to take your X-Acto knife or something to poke through half of that ball to make room for your straw. I wound up putting a couple pieces of paper towel in each cup to fill it up. And then I poked my straw through. No, I'm lying. I didn't put the straw through yet. I got my Ocean Waverly Chalk Paint and my Crimson Waverly Chalk Paint. I'm going to make red, white, and blue snow cones. So I paint them first. And you don't apply a heavy paint. It's almost like a dry brush, and it looks like a snow cone, right? So I did solid blue, I did solid red, and then I did a couple that were red, white, and blue with the stripes. So, and then I glue them to the top of the cups that are stuffed with the paper towel. And then I put my straw on, and that's it. You're done. I think I made 8 in a matter of 10 minutes, literally. The longest part about this DIY was getting the straws the right length to fit inside the cup. That easy, y'all. And you can, these are perfect, absolutely perfect for a tier tray. I'm going to show you how I style them in a minute, but this is so easy. Guys, I also want you to leave me a comment down below and let me know what DIY was your favorite in this video. And let me know what you think. Leave your comments. I love reading your comments. I love interacting with my subscribers. I have missed you guys so much you have no idea. Look at that. Aren't they cute? And I put like 4 on the top of my tier tray. And here's a bird's eye view. DIY number 5. We saved the best for last. This is going to be a really big farmer's market stand. I am amazed at how this came out. So I got 2 of these shelves from the Dollar Tree, the big ones. Now, this is really good plywood, y'all. I mean, it's thick, it's sturdy, it's smooth. So I decided to use this for my farmer's market stand. And I couldn't decide what one would look best on the ends. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to try each one and see how it looks. So that's what we're going to do here in a second. I'm going to open up these bad boys and try each palette and see how it looks. I found something new in the Dollar Tree, y'all. Look at this. It's like a gripper for your little sanding blocks that you get from the Dollar Tree. I thought this was super cool. And it comes with the sanding block. And it's great. Like, it works great. So, I'm just sanding them down because I sand everything down. All my wood I sand down. So, this is what I meant by I'm going to open them up and sand them up and see what looks best. So, first I'm going to try the small palette. No, this is not going to work. It's too short. You can see right there. I mean, these boards are really, really tall. So I couldn't use that one. So I go with the largest one. And, of course, it's too tall. And the third one actually ends up being a perfect fit. I couldn't ask for a better fit. The only thing is, it's going to be a little bit wider. And when I say this farmer's market stand is going to be massive, it's going to be massive. And I'm just so pleased with how it came out. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove the hangers from 2 of these palette signs. And I'm going to cut the hanger at each end. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my little jewelry pliers. I don't know what you'd call them, but they're really skinny. They remind me of miniature needle nose. I don't know the word for them. And I take that jute that's stuck under them little staples out with my jewelry pliers. And they're really easy to pop out after that. So I got both hangers out and I sanded where the hangers were right here. And on the other one, I made sure everything was nice and smooth. And now we're going to go ahead and we're going to glue our bottom base of our farmer's market stand together. I can't talk. It's been so long since I've done a video with you guys. I'm like so happy to be here. I'm ecstatic. So what I'm going to do, how to hold this beast together, I'm going to put wood glue on the inside of this piece of wood that holds the palette together. And then on the end of our hanging wall shelf, I'm going to use hot glue for a temporary hold so I can go ahead and assemble the whole base of our box. So we're going to do wood glue on the palette, and we're going to do hot glue on the shelf piece. So you see me stand it up because I didn't want my glue to drip all over the place, obviously, right? So here I'm applying the hot glue, and then we're going to fuse them together and make sure they're in line at a 90-degree angle, nice and straight. And this is how we are going to assemble the bottom piece of this box. When I tell you this thing is massive, like this box can literally hold anything you want it to hold, from flowers to fall apples to anything, and it's going to be good all year round. You can change what's inside it all year round to fit your decor at the moment. And that's what I like about this piece. It's very versatile. You can make it match your home at all times of the year. And this is a money saver because you can use it and style it the way you want all year round. And it's already made. It's already a piece of your decor. All you have to do is style it. So now, as you can see, this base is so massive, I can't fit it all in the frame of the video. So we're going to go ahead and apply our wood glue to the other side. And we're going to put both palettes in, tuck our second shelf in the front. And I go ahead and I get these 1-foot boards from the Dollar Tree. And I'm thinking, oh, a couple of these. Yeah, right. It fell right through. It's not even close to being big enough for the bottom. So I take one of my boards that I purchased a while back. And I'm like, okay, this isn't wide enough either. What are we going to use for the bottom? So I was thinking like the large, extra large popsicle sticks from Walmart. But I wanted a thicker base. I wanted to be able to hold weight and not have to worry about anything popping through. So instead of gluing this to the bottom of our box vertically like this, I'm going to cut this board in 3 pieces and we're going to glue it horizontally. And you're going to see exactly what I mean here in a second. I'm going to cut it into 3s. And then I am going to turn around and glue it the opposite way. This board, by the way, is so easy to cut. All you have to do is score it a couple times with your X-Acto knife or your carpenter's knife, and it'll snap right apart. It's really easy to cut. So I just snapped it and sanded it, and it was perfect. So now, as you can see what I'm talking about, I cut it in 3. And this is exactly how I'm going to glue it. I'm going to go right around the edge, and I'm going to use hot glue. And that hot glue is wood hot glue by Bonder. And this is going to give it a permanent bond. I don't have to worry about it falling out or anything like that because it's wood hot glue. It is a little bit yellower than the regular hot glue, but I was just worried about the adhesion and the bond. And the bond is super strong. I have nothing to worry about. I can't be happier. I'm glad I did cut this board down and I did it the way I did it, because now I know that this box can hold a lot of weight. And I'm also going to go ahead and reapply some more glue on the inside just to give it that extra security. Now the bottom of our base is done. This is a chicken wire I got off Amazon. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my bamboo sticks and I measured the inside of the box. And I marked it with black marker on the chicken wire. And I'm sandwiching the chicken wire in between my two bamboo sticks. And I'm just trimming it down to size. So when I trimmed it down to size, I did use the dollar store pruning shears. They are awesome. They cut through the chicken wire like butter. So yes, the Dollar Tree pruning shears, sorry, tongue twister, cut through this chicken wire like nothing. But when I did cut it down after I sandwiched it, I noticed there were a couple little sharp pieces I could still feel if I ran my finger down where I sandwiched them together. And I didn't want one of the kids to grab them and get poked. So to avoid that, I am going to go down the seam where they're sandwiched and meet together with hot glue. That way, nothing pointy is sticking out, nobody can get hurt. Now you can see I just cut it down to size. And I'm clipping off all the extra sharp pieces I can see. I'm gluing over those. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stuff this down into the inside of our box. And the reason why I thought of chicken wire as a back wall is because I want our little farmer's market stand to have a roof. Oh yes, honey. It's going to have a roof. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this inside our box. And we're going to put bamboo sticks in the front as well. Oh, you'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. This is going to come out great. And you guys, please, I want you to make this. You will not regret it. And it's an easy process. So now we need something on the front of our box, right? So I'm thinking I'm going to use this rub-on and it's going to look great. Wrong. I didn't realize how massive this box was going to be. Even if I cut out all the images separately and put them on top and below the Farm Fresh Flower sign, it's still going to be too tiny. So I'm thinking, and I'm like, what can we do for the front? Okay, I got it. I went ahead and I made my own stencil on the stencil vinyl paper that I got off Amazon. And this fit absolutely perfect. I just searched Farmer's Market on Cricut Design Space. This came up, put my stencil paper in, cut it out. The only problem I had with the stencil was my transfer paper was like glued to the stencil paper. I don't know if the transfer paper is old and really, really sticky or what, but I had a heck of a time trying to get that transfer paper off. And you'll see here in a second what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and apply my stencil. And I get a ruler because I want to make sure it's even on both sides. I don't want it too far to the left, too far to the right. And I'm just going to dab my ink chalk paint by Waverly over our stencil. And I'm going to remove it while the paint is still wet. Would you look at that, guys? Didn't that come out absolutely perfect? I did make a oopsie over here on the left, but it's nothing I can't fix with a little sandpaper. But other than that, this is so absolutely gorgeous. I cannot stand it. Now I'm really looking at these holes that are in our shelves, right? So those holes are there because it's supposed to be a hanging shelf, obviously. But we turned it into a farmer's market stand. And I'm like, how can we cover up them holes without anybody knowing that there are holes there? Now, I wasn't totally confident that this was going to work. So, I'm going to try my luck right here. And what I did here was I had these tricolor, different colored stickers, round stickers. I painted over them with my ink chalk paint by Waverly. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue these little stickers over the holes in our shelves. But now it's our farmer's market box. So we're going to go ahead and cover them holes with these stickers I painted black. And it absolutely works perfectly. Now I'm measuring the bamboo sticks for the front that we're going to tuck inside for the front to hold up our roof. And I want to make them shorter than the back that's got the chicken wire on it because I want my roof to go down at a slant. So I'm going to make the bamboo sticks in the front roughly about an inch and a half shorter than the back. So I had these hanging galvanized metal plaques in my stash, and I decided to remove the hanger and go ahead and use two of these for my slanted roof on our farmer's market stand. So don't worry about the holes that are in there for the hanger, because in the front, the two inside ones meet and they overlap each other, and the ones on the end, I thought of this as an afterthought, are perfect to like tie a banner to hang for the front that says welcome or on sale, whatever you want to put on your mini banner. You can totally now add your banner and the roof has holes in it already for you to tie it to it. I should have made one so you can see what I'm talking about, but like I said, it was an afterthought. I'm sure I'll make one. Now, I'm just sizing these two plaques to fit the top of this massive box. And I glue them together and I glue them on top of our bamboo sticks. It's an easy process. And this thing is absolutely gorgeous, guys. So it took 2 bags of Spanish moss to somewhat fill this box. Okay? Like, I had to puff it up. And it was just crazy. It's crazy how big this thing is. I also want to make mention, I did bend the plaques at the second crease, the galvanized plaques. I did bend them at the second crease to hang over in the back. So it does have like an edge, or a hangover lip in the back. They're not just setting on the bamboo sticks. They are overhanging the chicken wire in the back by like maybe an inch or so. I failed to mention that, but I wanted you guys to get an idea that, you know, these plaques weren't just sitting on 4 bamboo sticks. They're actually overhanging in the back. These faux eggs that actually look like eggs I found at the Dollar Tree recently, and I found it in the floral section. I picked up 2, and not even having this DIY in my brain, like, I thought about it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, these would go perfect with our little farmer's market stand. So I keep one in the carton, and I remove the other 6 from their carton. They are glued in there, so you kind of have to peel off the glue. But guys, look at how awesome this came out. I couldn't be more proud of this DIY right here. I mean, absolutely amazing. Look at that. And they look like real eggs. I can't be more pleased. Guys, thanks for hanging with me tonight. Like, comment, share, tell your friends. Also, all my links will be in the description box below, as well as all the materials and where I got them from. I can't wait to catch you guys on the next one. Until then, be safe.